a member of my church, this church. I love my church and the spiritual life I developed here and the amazing friends I have gained and treasured as family. I also had developed very late in life a love of baking cookies and experimenting in the kitchen. In 2003, I was given the medical diagnosis of Parkinson's. My first clue to having some medical problems was typing. I was making typos. I typed for over 30 years and could type in my sleep, but my left hand stopped listening to me. My health deteriorated rapidly, and I could feel the difference when my second grandchild, Cara, was born. I could not carry her around like I did her older brother, Colin. In 2007, I realized I had to move out of my home into a senior apartment. I loved my new little apartment with its little kitchen, so I could still cook and bake all my cookies. I happily embraced the Bunnell community and readily got involved in their book club, a Red Hatters Club, their auxiliary group. I started a group called the Social Butterflies. I joined the Bunnell choir. With more and more physical difficulty, I was finding it more and more difficult to attend activities outside Bunnell. I still babysat my grandkids and attended poetry club. In May of 2011, my health took a dramatic decline, and I was forced to live with Heather for a bit and ended up in a nursing rehab facility. From there, I had to move to the nursing facility at Bunnell. Walking proved to be harder, and I needed more help than I am willing to admit. I still had a project that I completed before Christmas of 2011. I put together a cookbook of my favorite recipes. The end. This is a note by Heather. This was found in my mom's journals. Obviously an abrupt ending. Who can truly write the end of their life story? But my mom was so special in the fact that she had the courage to reflect on her life and write it all down for us. Here's the poem that she wrote. What is written in the wind is written in my heart, yes. What's written in my heart will never depart. The songs, the poetry, the prayers, they are here to stay like a breath of fresh air. The wind blows to me, ever expressing what is in my heart. It's written in the wind. So Carol Brickley's going to sing a song. It's called Prayer. She wrote the words. Oh, I'm sorry. The Raine wrote the words.
Thank you, Eileen, and just for your information, one of Lorraine's recipes has been made today, and it's out there for dessert, and her cookbook is right behind it in case you need to see it. I'd like to talk just a minute to Colin and Kara. Why don't you use the short one? I just wanted to thank you. Okay. Okay, that's better. All right, thank you. Colin and Kara, when your mother was a little girl, when Heather was a little girl, she and your grandma would sing songs together at home. And one of them was the Rainbow Connection. And they sang that lots of times. So this was a favorite tune of your Grandma Lorraine. So then later on when Grandma Lorraine was at this community, this church, she took a class called Foundations. Now, in some of your classes you had to do projects, right? Yeah. Well, they had to do a project at the end of this class too. And at the end of Foundations, you do a project that expresses something that you learned in class. So this is the poem that Grandma Lorraine wrote, and it's to the tune of Rainbow Connection. We know that every prayer is heard and answered when we feel
clap here. You know, each one of us fulfills a purpose in life. And we come to shine a unique light onto this planet, onto this earth that cannot be duplicated by anyone else. Such was Lorraine's light. Physical passing leaves a void sometimes for those of us who stay behind. And that is why we gather together to affirm our faith through that although Lorraine has gone on, her light continues to shine on because of what she helped to build here and because of her family and her daughter and her grandchildren. We affirm also that Lorraine has entered into a new life, into a greater experience of her own beingness. An immense freedom now is hers, more so than we can possibly know. It can be said that death is another name for change. One more event in the continuum of life. It is the thing that will happen to all of us. But life knows neither beginning nor ending. Every beginning leads to an ending, and every ending is the beginning of something new. This something new is Lorraine's now, and I envision her free. I did not know that she fenced and played softball and camped. And all of those things, I knew her later in life, and I can see her now in perfect movement and ease of movement, without pain, without effort, and only peace in her body and in her mind. What lies beyond the veil between this world and beyond is not ours to really know. What we can take comfort in is that Lorraine is safe, that she is loved, and that she is known absolutely in the heart of God. Now, Heather asked me to share a story with you that she thought might explain things for her children and the other children who are here. And some of you have heard the story before, and some of you may have not. But what I would ask of all of you is that you listen with those child's ears, that you listen with a new place, because this is a timeless message in a story of continual renewal. Because once upon a time, because we know all good stories start with once upon a time. Once upon a time, in a little pond in the muddy water under the lily pads, there lived a beetle community, in a community of water beetles. There was this one little beetle, however, that felt itself unique. But all of them, they lived a simple and comfortable life in the pond with very few disturbances or interruptions. They just went about their days and their nights. Now, once in a while, though, sadness would come upon the community when one of their fellow beetles would suddenly climb to the top of a lily pad and would disappear and never be seen again. They knew that when this happened, their friend was dead and that they were gone forever. Well, one day, this particular little water beetle feels this irresistible urge to climb. Something within her just needed to climb. And she tried not to, but she was determined when she gave in that she would not leave forever. She would be the one who would come back and tell her friends what she found at the top. Now, when she reached the top and she climbed out of the water and shook off a little bit and sat on the top of the lily pad, well, you know what happens when you finally get warm in the sun and you kind of fall asleep and take a little bit of a nap. And as she slept, her whole body changed. Her whole being changed. And when she woke, she found she had turned into this beautiful, amazing, blue-tailed dragonfly. She had broad wings and a slender body that was designed for flying. And fly she did. She tried it out. She soared. She went up and down and around and above the water and all around. And then it was an amazing experience of life that she had never felt before. But she remembered her beetle friends and the promise that she had made, and she was thinking that they were thinking that she was dead, and it saddened her in a way. And she wanted to go back and tell them and explain to them that she was now so much more alive than she had ever been before. That her life had actually been fulfilled rather than ending.